So our first supplier is ATR Furniture, and you can see the first 8 letters uh, become the account reference for this one. Okay, in Excel file, so first is we have BP. So BP, there are only 2 letters, so I can write BP here. Selco Builders, I go back and I'll see this is the Selco and then BUI. So I will come here and write Selco and BUI. Okay. Costco, I think it will come like this. And then we have IT Planet. If I go back to Sage and we'll see this is IT Planet. So I can just copy it and paste it here and remove the space between two words. And then we have Mobile World. If I go back, this is mobile and then WO. So I can just copy it here first and then I can remove space. Then we have Rayman. Rayman can come here like this. And then we have ATR Furniture. This will here ATR and FURNI. So I will go back to in Excel. I will just and I can just ATR Furniture. Then we have Selco, which is here, so I can just copy it down. Then we have Costco, and then we can copy everyone here. Okay, so it's fine. Then the nominal account reference, as I told you, nominal account reference are these nominal codes which you have already put while creating the suppliers. So the first one is ATR, so this is 0040, so ATR 0040, and then we have BP. I remember this is 7400 traveling. Selco Builder is what? Selco Builder is 7803. Sorry, this is 7803, and we have Selco Builder here also. Costco was purchases 5000. IT Planet. IT Planet is 7552. 7552. Then we have Mobile World. It's here. It is 7553. 7553. And then we have Rayman, which is 7502. 7502. And then we have Costco is 5000. And then we have Rayman, which is 7502. Okay, in Sage we have to amend this template a little bit. I cannot take all this data and put into the Sage. There are some mandatory columns and there are some columns which shouldn't be there. So what I would do is, in Sage you don't need to put the gross amount. So you don't need to put the gross amount. Sage won't take the gross amount because it's a particular format with which you can take the data from Excel to Sage. So I will delete the entire column. Then you don't need the supplier name because Sage will recognize the transaction according to the account reference and assign the transaction to the particular supplier according to their account reference. Okay, so these are 9 columns which I always count here. These are the 9 columns which you need to post the transaction in Sage, to import the data from Excel to Sage. Okay, in these columns, this is the final sheet now. In this column, what we need to do is, there are some mandatory columns as I told you before. So mandatory, I'm going to highlight the mandatory columns here. So the first one is the type. Type is mandatory, and then we have date. Date is mandatory. Then we have tax code, net amount, tax amount, account reference, and nominal account reference. So all these columns, they are mandatory. So if there is any problem in this column, in any of these columns, you cannot import the data from Excel to Sage. Okay, the next step is, what I'm assuming is that all of these invoices, they are the cash invoices, cash purchases. So when you purchase the invoice, so you made the payment at that time. Yep. So in this, through this one sheet, we can do two things. The first thing is we can post the invoices, post supplier invoices, and then we can also record the supplier payments. Yep. So recording supplier payment is going to be this part, which I'm going to, and this part. The first part is going to be the to post the supplier invoices. So what I can do is quickly I can just copy this one and I can just post it here. Okay, in here I need to change a couple of things. So PI will become PA, as I told you. So that is the payment on account, and it will come here. Reference I don't need to change, traveling details I don't need to change, and tax code will be T9. Sorry, because in Sage the payments they will take T9 if your company is on standard VAT scheme. Let me repeat it again. In Sage the payments will take the tax code T9, the VAT code T9, if your company is on VAT standard rate scheme. Okay, net amount is going to be the same and tax amount is going to be the same. But in here, what you need to do is, I will quickly just copy this one here, and this tax amount will be gone, and I will just add these two together and copy it down. So the payment is going to be with the full amount. So whenever you make a payment, uh, you make the payment of the full amount, which is net plus VAT. So this is what I'm doing here. So I've added these two figures together. So this is the gross payment which we must have paid to the supplier. So this is the formula. So what I can do is, you can just change the formula into values. So copy the formula, bring your cursor in the selected area, right click, and then paste special. Here this is the option which you need to select, which is values, and then click on OK. So see this one, previously it was a formula, but then it is only the value. So what I can do is I can quickly cut it and paste it here, and this tax amount will be 0. So this one will be here, and I can just cut and paste in the place. Yep. So in this area, in this first section, we will be posting the system will be posting the invoice, and in this, the last bit, the second bit, we are making the payments against those invoices, because what we have assumed, what I am assuming here, that all these purchases are the cash purchases. So in here, what you can do is, this is going to be debit and this is going to be credit. In the first section, Sage will post the double entry for the credit purchases. If I do it like this, copy it here. So the double entry for the purchases is going to be debit expenses and creditors control account. Let's say we are doing it for the purchases. So purchases is going to be debited and creditors control account is going to be the credited. And in this section, when you make a payment, so Sage will post the double entry, which is going to be, I'm going to copy it from here. So creditors control account and cash. So creditors control account is going to be debited and cash is going to be credited. And in here, purchase will be debited and creditors control account will be credited. Okay, so that's it. So what I'm going to do is, I hope you understand this bit, because this is very important, that in the first section Sage will post this double entry, which is purchases debit and creditors control account is going to be credit, and in the second bit Sage is going to make the payment, which is the creditors control account is going to be the debit and cash is going to be credit. So I will just remove these two bits, gone, and that's it. Okay, the next bit is